I'm here to talk to you tonight about the rotten fruit of shame. You know what? Shame's a powerful negative force in the lives of peoples and whole societies. Shame's identified as being, quote, a painful feeling of humiliation or distress caused by consciousness of wrong or foolish behavior, unquote. You know, shame is what Adam and Eve felt when they realized they'd sinned and tried to hide themselves. They were ashamed of their actions and wanted to cover themselves up. That's why clothing can actually be the very symbol of shame. Our society, and sadly our churches, are filled with attitudes and teachings that instill shame in people. This is especially true in the area of the naked human body and in bodily functions such as sexual activity. In spite of volumes, literally volumes of studies showing the negative effects of shaming, churches and society continue to promote things like purity education and covering the body and hiding of any sexual activity from public view. We don't even teach them how to have sex anymore because we're afraid of the shame involved in showing them via demonstration what it looks like. They're left to grope in the dark, no pun intended, and hope that they get it right someday. And what we end up with is a bunch of sexually frustrated couples in counseling. Tragically, this also creates an entire group of people who are victimized all over again after they've been violated by someone. You know, one of the number one reasons that people do not report sexual abuse or rape is that they are filled with shame over what happened. They feel they must have somehow been at fault, or at least partially, because of the shame that they feel. So they go for years, and sometimes a lifetime, without reporting rape or sexual abuse because of the shame we attach to the naked body and to sexual activity, and to loss of quote-unquote purity. Even more tragically, many of these victims are children and people with special needs. The fruit of this shame and secretive cultural and religious indoctrination is rotten from the core. It really victimizes those who have already been violated. If only people were to show, or free to show, their bodies, and bodies were accepted as totally natural, nothing to look twice at. If only sexual activity wasn't relegated to hidden brothels and closed bedrooms. And if we just normalized regular human behavior like human nudity, then people wouldn't give it a second thought, and the shame would be removed and the power would be taken from it. You know, if we spoke openly about the beauty of sexuality and were unashamed to let others witness sexual activity like any other public display of affection, there'd be no need to hide in shame if someone's violated. Ironically, it would also make the porn industry, with its ties to human trafficking, obsolete. Shame's hurting women and children who've been victims by keeping them from coming forward. It's time to be open about our bodies and our bodily functions so that these victims can emerge from the shadows of shame and find justice, healing, and freedom once again. The vulnerable among us need us to put away shame and live openly. So who'll start this revolution of freedom? You know what? It can start with you. Living in holy nakedness and wishing you blessings. This is Noah's Ark.